Welcome back. I'm sitting down having an interview with Miss Dallas teen Lily Roberts, who I mentioned earlier happens to also be my co-host. So I'm excited, as we said, right, to do the show together. You know, one of the things I wanted to do with this show is to be able to empower women and teen girls, and what better way than to give a teen young lady an opportunity to co-host a show. And with that being said, you have this remarkable career. You have also received many awards. You received the President's Volunteer Award, the Girl Scouts Gold Award for public speaking. And so you stay very, very diverse. Why is it important for you to be so diverse? I want to delve into that first before we start talking about this beautiful crown and sash and your accomplishments, Miss Dallas Teen.
Yeah, so I think the most important thing is to do what you love in any aspect of life, whether it is volunteering, which I love, or Girl Scouts, which I also love,
Right.
or sports or school. Just do your best at everything you do and follow your heart, because there's endless possibilities and you don't know what you can achieve until you try it. So the reason why I like to stay diverse and put my toe into all different types of water is because I don't know what I'll fall in love with. And just a couple years ago, I fell in love with the Miss America organization, and I wouldn't be here today if I didn't give it a shot.
So you're going to be running for Miss Texas Teen in June.
Yes.
What is the preparation for the Miss Dallas Teen pageant versus the Miss Texas Teen pageant? Would you say that there's a difference as far as the preparation for you and keeping your stamina and being able to make certain that you bring that crown home?
Yes. So I would say if you were to ask me about a year ago, I'd say there's a huge difference in locals, which is what they call the city pageants, versus state. But now if you ask me, I'd say no, because the most important thing at the end of the day is to be yourself. I went into the Miss Dallas pageant being myself, being authentic, not trying to fit what the judges might have in mind or trying to fit what other people might want from me, but having fun and representing myself on that stage and in the interview room. And if I take that same energy to state level, I think that I can achieve great things. But a lot of the times people might stereotype pageants and see the crown before the girl, but at the end of the day, it's the girl who's wearing the crown and what they're capable of. So I make sure that that part of me shines through.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I mentioned to you before, I grew up being in beauty pageants from the age of 5 all the way until the age of 24. And so one of the things I hear a lot of people make negative statements about beauty pageants. They think it's very demoralizing to women. And actually, it's actually opposite of that. I think it builds stamina. It increases your self-esteem. And it also teaches you the interviewing techniques and skills, because you have to go through an interviewing phase. When we talk about your pageants and the Miss Dallas Teen versus the Miss Texas Teen, what would you say in talking about those two pageants would you like to pull from as a life lesson for yourself?
I think live in the moment is a great life lesson that I have learned competing in pageants, because a lot of the people will say there's so much stress on those days. Of course there is. There's a lot of pressure. I'd be lying if I said there wasn't any. But really just enjoy the moment, make friends. I found so much community in the sisters that I've competed in pageants with, and interview skills is one of the things that I have definitely pulled from the pageant system. If you were to ask me in middle school to stand up in front of my class, I might have been too scared to do it, but because I decided to take a leap of faith, start pageants, learn how to hold myself up, and I'm here today. I'm able to speak to you. I can speak to children. I speak to different groups, my peers, and it's really wonderful what you can do with your voice.
Well, talk about speaking.
Yes.
Your mom is the very prominent news anchor on Fox 5 News here in Dallas, Heather Hayes.
Yes.
And so we love Heather. And so I know you all have such a great relationship. I wouldn't expect anything different from you. So having your mom always in television, she is at the top of her game. You have such a great woman as a role model. What is one of the top things you think your mom has taught you throughout your life?
Oh, that has got to be one of the hardest questions I've probably ever been asked, because she's taught me so many things. Yes. I will say one motto that she always told me growing up was work hard, play hard. Hard work pays off. So if you put your all into everything you do, 110%. That's another thing she always told me. Do 110%, go the extra mile, give it your best, and the outcome will be amazing.
What are your career aspirations after high school?
So I actually love speaking. I love coming up with ideas. I love movies. So I would love to go to University of California in Los Angeles, UCLA.
Where Christian is at.
Yes. California is one of my favorite places. So as of right now, that's the plan. But I would love to get a degree in business and screenwriting, script writing, because I think there's something so powerful about the message that can be shared from movies. I grew up watching Barbie movies, and the message that stuck with me till the age of 15 and probably for the rest of my life is you can be anything. And I want to be able to make people remember those messages and feel things with the movies I write.
And so when you write movies, from what perspective are you writing them from? Because you do have that entertainment experience being on stage. What perspective are you writing your movies, and what are one of the takeaways that you would want the audience to walk away with?
Oh, I think I would love to actually write a movie about my mom's life. I don't think I've told her about this yet, but I've always looked up to her, and she's told me so many stories about the opportunities that being on the news has given her. So I'd love to talk about that from looking up to someone's perspective. And also, I think fantasy is super exciting. That's a great perspective. And also, just the perspective of empowerment, just like this podcast, what it's all about. I think really getting those messages out there that people are capable is one of the most important things. So I'd love to write about that.
I think that's really amazing, because have positivity, we can never have too much positivity in the world. We have so much negativity going on. And so when I see a young lady such as yourself that's being an excellent role model for so many other girls, how do you maintain a strong mindset? Because I'm a mindset life coach. I coach women and teen girls. And so I run across a lot of girls who are my clients. Some of them have thought about committing suicide. Some of them have low self-esteem. And they really just don't know which way to turn. You seem to be very grounded. You seem to be a young lady that really knows what she wants. And if you have a hard time, you seem to know how to stay balanced. What is some of the regimens that you can share with another young girl or women as well? How do you maintain a strong mindset?
I think through the community that I have found has been one of the ways that I've maintained a strong mindset. And what I mean by that is my mom, my family supports me. But if my friends from school, my pageant community, and also I just joined a youth group, which I'm super excited about. So there's community all around us, and I think that a step that people should take is to find that community. And so actually this past Wednesday was my first time going to the youth group. It was amazing. I made so many friends. And so I use that as an example. So maybe if you don't have a community right now, look to the church if you believe in God, or look around you at school, join a club of what you're interested in, because you will find people all around you who can constantly bring you up. And on top of that, one thing personally that I do is that I know I'm prepared for things. I know that I'm ready. But if I'm getting in my head about something, I'm making myself nervous, taking a step back, looking at what I've done, knowing that I'm ready, and taking a step forward with that in mind, knowing that I can accomplish what I dream of, and all of you out there can as well. And if you're looking for a community, we have you. We're here to support you. If you're listening right now, you can do it. And just look all around you. Love is everywhere.
Love is everywhere. And I just wish more people would spread it, right?
Yes.
You're going to have your own podcast.
Yes.
I am so excited. I cannot wait to see it. And it starts April 14th, I believe.
Yes, in about 2 weeks.
Tell us about it. I'm excited. That is awesome. And tell us about it. And what inspired you to do your podcast?
Okay, so I have a couple of things for this one. So one thing about pageants, specifically the Miss America opportunity, is that every girl competing has a community service initiative. It can be about anything that you want. I know some girls focus on the consequences of drunk driving or ADHD. There's literally endless possibilities, but I focused on community service and volunteerism because I've grown up with volunteering taking a strong place in my life. From Girl Scouts, National Charity League, I love it. I've grown up with it, but I realize not everybody has had that experience. So with my podcast, I want to show people that they can give back too. It can take literally 5 minutes of your day or 5 hours of your day. It can be what you make it and also what you want it to be. One thing I like to tell people is that if you love animals, go work at the SPCA right here in Dallas. Or there's communities in need of community gardens.
Right.
There's literally so many possibilities. So that's the point of the podcast. And what inspired me has to be reaching people, because just like this podcast, we're reaching people, we're empowering people. So the amount of people that will hopefully begin to give back after I start is what keeps me moving forward.
That's awesome. So the Miss Texas Teen in January, I believe it's the 25th, 26th, and 27th.
Yes, I think it's a bit longer than that. It's a week. It's that Sunday, I want to say the 23rd to the 30th.
Okay.
I might be wrong. I'll have to check my planner after this, but I believe it's around that time.
And the finalists, I think, the finals are on the 29th, I believe.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
okay. Tell us that process. How does that work? So when you talk about these different days and spread it out for an entire week, give us a little bit of a synopsis of what that looks like.
So it is much different than the local level. There's about 10 girls who compete locally at local pageants, but when it gets to state, there's over 50. So it is a huge competition right here in Richardson, so it's super close to home. But what it looks like is you arrive the first day, usually starts with the brunch, where actually girls are awarded scholarship awards if you decided to compete in the essay competitions, which is a lovely way to start out the week. And then the next day you'll jump right into rehearsals and interviews, and then the day after that, which is about that Tuesday, there'll be more interviews because how they split it up into 3 groups with different competition order. Last year, I believe I started with fitness, and then I did evening gown, and then I did evening gown and onstage question, and then I did talent. So that might sound like a lot right now, but basically they'll have rotations, so each girl gets a night to compete in one category. In finals, the top 10 will compete in every category. So we'll start the week brunch, then we'll go to interview and rehearsals, and then that Tuesday is the first night of competition, and Wednesday and Thursday, next 3 nights. Friday is my favorite part. It's the y'all ball. We have a break. There's rehearsals. Everyone gets to dress up in Texas clothes and have a dance with your friends, kind of relax after the hard work's been done. And Saturday afternoon is finals, where we'll figure out who wins Miss Texas's team.
That's awesome. Well, you know what? We're going to be rooting for you.
Thank you so much.
That you are the next Miss Texas teen, for sure. You are going to do an amazing job. You articulate very well. You speak very well. You just seem to be such, as I said earlier, a very grounded young lady. And we thank you. You're so welcome. We thank you for your wisdom, and we thank you for your grace. And I do appreciate you doing an amazing job co-hosting with me today. And so if you would like to connect with Lily, you can do so on Instagram at LilyRay_official or at Miss Dallas Teen 24. Back in a moment.